Hi everyone, today I have this really lovely miniature for you. This is called a Book Nook, and as the name suggests, it can actually go in between some books on your shelf, so it's great. It has a lot of detail. If you like books, like I do, I love books, you're really going to love this miniature. Look at that little butterfly in the frame there at the bottom, so cute. And these stairs are just lovely. They're fun to make and they look beautiful. And this is interesting because you can actually look inside from windows on the back. It's not often you find miniatures with windows around them, especially not Book Nooks. So I thought we'd start by making a set of books because there are so many books to make. First of all, I always recommend scoring anything that you're going to bend, especially anything in paper. And as you can see here, this is going to make it a lot easier to fold. Well, start by gluing all the white pieces, and then everything that is white will be glued to another piece, if that makes sense. So you just bend it all in, and I recommend using tweezers so that you can hold the corners really nice and tight and flat while the glue is drying. It's a little bit tricky to begin with, but you really get used to it very quickly. And here you see a nice little selection of books in one package, and this is all of the books that you'll be making as packages. There are 3 ways of making books in this miniature, and this is the second method, which includes cutting out these boards. Because they're part of a major board, you have to cut around them a little bit, and you may actually have to file them a little bit as well if they're a bit rough around the edges. Once you've cut out all the book covers, you just simply paste them around the small books, and you'll see how adorable they look. Look at this, it's so cute. Really, I just love these books. This is the third and final method, and it basically just includes folding the paper up to make it look like a book. And again, if you score all those individual papers, it will make it much easier and tidier. With all of the framed pictures, make sure that you glue the frame onto the picture. Don't try to glue the picture onto the frame. It will be very difficult, and this way you just cut them all out. Here's that cute little butterfly. Just cut it out and fold it in half, and it becomes a lovely 3D picture, which is very, very cool. Look how adorable that is. Here are all the frames cut out and finished, and we'll be using those later on. Now we'll make a few more paper crafts. With these newspapers, we'll just fold them into quarters, and then we'll pack them up into a lovely little, look how cute that is, a lovely little bundle of newspapers. We also have some beautiful maps in this miniature build, and we'll simply roll those into some lovely little scrolls. The first piece of furniture we'll make is a very simple little table. Now we're going to look at making some candlesticks, and it's amazing to me how with a little bit of wood and some beads you can make these really very realistic looking candles. The next thing we'll make is this cute lamp, and whoever comes up with those ideas, honestly, they are so clever. This is just amazing how this works out. Just as a tip, I used to bend wires using just my hands, but I found by using some pliers it made it so much easier. So I certainly recommend that. And once you've bent it into the correct shape, you simply just glue that on to the little lamp. And I just think it's amazing how realistic that is. Look how cute that is. It's just adorable. So cute. Although this rocking chair looks complicated, it's actually 4 simple pieces to put together. So no biggie there. This table is also fairly simple to put together. Only one thing I want to mention is you need to put in the 3 legs first, and then you're going to put in this support in the center there, and then the final leg. If you don't, that's going to be very difficult to get in. And there you have it. That's really cute too, isn't it? Love it. We'll just put a few little decorations on here. Look, we have a quill and an ink quill. And here is where we actually put those scrolls that we made earlier on. Next, we'll be making a bookcase. And you really have to check out my bloopers at the end to see just how difficult these parts were to put together. And on my grading for this project, I actually deleted a point simply because this was so hard to put together. Check out my bloopers, you'll see. Now we'll be making a slightly bigger piece of furniture. I always like to take out all the parts that I need beforehand and just put them to the side. Let me just move those beads out of the way there. You'll see on the backboard there are these lines. That's where the shelves will go. And we'll start by putting on the left side first. And then we'll be adding the 3 shelves. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll put on the other side. It's actually easier to do it this way rather than put the 2 sides. Oops, just realized that's upside down. Let me just turn that around. Sorry about that. We'll add this little piece of decoration at the top. That's a nice piece of detail. And just the top of the bookcase there. Then we'll be adding the drawers and the door fronts. And they just glue on. And after that, we'll just add these lovely little gold handles. And then we'll start to add some of the other pieces that will go into this bookshelf. I like to put everything out again so that I know exactly where I'll be putting things. The next few pieces are very simple to put together, so I'll just let you enjoy some music. Now we'll start on some wallpapering, which is always a lot of fun. Here it's interesting, they've actually got two pieces in one big piece. So here you'll need to cut out that middle piece. And I recommend using a sharp knife to do that rather than scissors. Again, I would score this edge, which will make it much easier to fold, as you can see here. And then we'll simply glue that onto the board. And that really sits very nicely. The next piece is we'll be taking out, take this apart, and we'll be gluing that and put it on. This will be actually the first floor. So in England we say ground floor and first floor. So I'm not quite sure what they say in other countries. Just make sure you pierce those holes that are already made in the wood so that you know where to put the wires for the lamps that are going to sit there. And you see in the catalogue they ask you to put out these 2 points, so we'll just mark those in for later on. That's actually where the lamps themselves will sit. Now when you're putting on the side, make sure you're putting the right edges to the right backing paper. You'll notice that one side of this window is slightly larger than the other, and you'll see how that fits there. Once you've got those two, you just add the window frame. That's looking quite nice. And then we'll be taking out these windows that will go on the inside. Look how pretty they look. Really lovely. Again, a very nice detail that is not found in many book nooks, I have to say. Now we'll be adding this, it's quite funny really, looks like a nautical wheel or something. So I'm not quite sure how it fits in with their idea of magic, but all the same, they look really cute. You'll see there's a lot of extra wood that comes with this kit, and you should keep all of those bits as I'm pushing them out here, because you can actually use them for lots of other things later on. So I've already put in the windows, and now I just put in that bottom one, and now we'll be making the arch. Look at this, wood that bends. How cool is that? So we'll just fix that into the arch. Make sure that goes into all the notches that are already there, which is very helpful. Then we'll put on the top and the sides. And so there we are, nearly finished with the arch. There is something else we'll add to it later. Make sure that you put in these notches so that they fit really nicely. And this piece also just slots in. And that's actually starting to take shape. Now we're going to make some drawers, pretend drawers of course. These are the handles, we just attach those. And we'll just add all of those, super quick, like magic. And we'll be putting that underneath the arch there. And this is the final part of the arch. Now we're making this cute little fireplace that would actually have a light behind it at the end. I wish they'd made this in something a little bit thicker than paper, but it does work. As you can see, you can support it with a little bit of wood. We make a hole here for the light to go through. And on this light you can add one of these white shrink tubes, which you can either shrink using some heat, a hairdryer, or I have a little hot air gun, so I'll just use that. And we just shrink that so it fits nice and tightly. And then we add these 3 little bits that will eventually go on the top. We'll look at that later. This is a nice floor-in, so we'll be adding some wallpaper to that. Floor-in wood paper. But before that, we'll add these small pieces so that it gives it some height, which I think is a very nice detail. Well, at the side now to this part, we have the base, we have the back, and now we have this side, which looks very nice. And we just simply add that base to the bottom there. This little flower pot is super fun to make. It's very quick, very easy, and really looks, I think, quite stunning once the whole thing is finished. So you just build the box, and it comes with this piece of greenery that you simply cut in half, and we'll put half of that there. And the other half we'll just cut a little bit around the top to round it off so it doesn't look quite so square. You'll see that. Look how cute that is. Then we'll add some glue and simply pop it into the red pieces, and I think that looks fantastic. I love it. Now we'll be making the lampshade for the main room, and once we've added all the parts of it, we'll just check that it's working before we do anything else. White to red and black to grey, and super, it works. Makes me very happy. These are the two lamps now positioned on the underside of the first floor, which we're now making 2 more lamps for the top side. And these are so clever again. Look how pretty that is. Just a couple of beads, and amazing. So you'll see this is where they'll be placed. With this wheel, we'll put that little white piece on one side, and that attaches to the wall, so you have a 3D effect. I just wanted to show that. And we'll put the fireplace there. You'll see there's a notch in the wood there that we just put the wire through, and then we actually have to, it's a little bit tricky, but we have to put that wire through so that it comes out at the back. And it, like I said, it's a little bit difficult to do, but it does work, so that's good. Now we'll add that second floor and pull the wires for those 2 lamps through. Now you can see those 2 lamps. Look how cute they look. They're adorable. Really nice. I find it's a good idea to twist the wires so that they sit a bit straight at the back there, although I would like for them to have gone out the back, but okay. And there you see all the wires coming out through the back. Now we begin on the stairs. Make sure you have the small piece at the top and the bigger piece at the bottom, otherwise you'll be upside down. And you just place those small steps into the notches, and I like to glue them as well. And you just put on the other side, and then you just simply add each of the steps as they come along. And you'll see how pretty they look at the end. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. I do love steps and stairs. This is the other piece, and again the longer piece on the bottom. Just make sure you have that and put that together as you did the first one. And now this flat piece will serve as the joinery piece for these 2 pieces of stairs. Pretty cute, right? I'd love to have them in my house anyway. Very nice. And they just sit nicely under the first floor. For the handrail, we just push out these small parts again, and you'll see that just fits nicely onto there. And we'll finish off the rest of the stairs now. And there we have the stairs all finished. I just think they look absolutely beautiful. Really nice piece of work. It really is super fun when you can start adding all the pieces that you've made earlier on. Now we'll begin on the wiring, which I always think is great fun. So we're going to take all of the pieces and make them all about the same size. Then we'll just gently score the top of the wires and pull that off. It's an easy way to do it. And then twist that around. Once we've done that, we just take all of the white wires together and twist them all together so that they form one piece. Then we'll just take all of those white wires and attach them to the red wire from the battery. And then we'll do the same with all of the grey wires, which of course will attach to the black wire from the battery. The kit comes with some paper to wrap these wires together, but I like to use these black shrink tubes. You just do one for the white, one for the grey, and then one for both of them, and they just fit nicely into the back there. I had this one picture left over, I don't know why, but I found a space up here because this wall was a little bit blank, so I just popped it there. And there you have it. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and don't forget to watch the bloopers at the end and my personal rating for this particular miniature build. Now we're going to put this really cute little bookshelf together. You just push these, wow, that's really difficult. Let me try another piece. I'll make this little bookcase and we just push these pieces in. Okay, I'm going to just hammer this sucker in. Okay, that fits now. And we're going to add the bead as well as this puffy little bit, and oops. Now we're going to add the back, and we'll just push that down nice and tight so that it fits. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm really trying hard to get these two pieces of wire through that hole, but it just won't fit. I know. So I suggest you just, oops, maybe I don't suggest that, to add this, oops, and here are the, okay, try again, and here, oh, might need to try again with that, and here we put a picture up on the, oops, and here we put, and here we put another. I'm just going to stick that sucker up there. And here's my personal rating for this particular miniature build, and this is my opinion. Value for money, I think, is a 7. The reason I don't give it higher is because there were too many books just made of paper, and I do think they could have made some more out of wood or something else. Even cardboard would have been better. Simplicity of build, I think fairly simple to build, apart from there were a couple of things that just wouldn't fit, like the bookshelf, so it loses points for that. Clarity of instructions, I think the instructions were actually quite good. I give it an 8. And the quality of parts, I give a 6. Again, I'm just cutting it short because they really should have. As there were so many books in this particular build, I think they should have had better books. Otherwise, fun to make and beautiful to look at. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks. Bye.